Niners, go Niners.
Really?
Hell yeah.
I'm the Raiders.
Oh, come on.
I grew up right
You're
next
in the East
to
Bay. I grew up in the South Bay, so I got love for the Raiders, but Niners are my team.
Where are you, Rydell?
I only have one thing to say. Alabama football. I know you're talking about.
Alabama football.
That's it. That's the end. It's just Alabama, they're talking in the car, so I just sit over here. I'm a little keyboard.
Well, a lot of troops overseas, they get to watch football when they're deployed now, which is great because
when the satellite lines up, right?
When the satellite lines up, but I remember when I was deployed, I actually got up really early in the morning, or stayed up until early in the morning so I can watch some football.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
That's very true, guys. Hi, guys.
What's up, Rick?
What's up, Rick?
Good, man. Hey,
did you get to watch some football back when you were deployed back in Vietnam?
well, today with satellites and Armed Forces Network, everybody's good to go. But back in Vietnam days, we didn't have that with satellites, anything like that. And the best I ever got, I think, was the results of the '69 Super Bowl, which came to us about 3 days later on the radio. Out in the rice paddies, it was delayed, and but see, we knew that, and so we accepted it. Yeah. What killed me though was hearing secondhand days later that my Baltimore Colts were taken down by Joe Namath and the New York Jets in the '69 Super Bowl.
That's what killed you, huh?
That's what got you.
You should have got a Purple Heart for mental.
I should have.
Stride out there in Vietnam.
You talk about pain and suffering.
I thought you were.
Endure that, Rick.
Yeah, I thought you were a Steelers fan.
Well, no, you got to understand, Baltimore wasn't all that far from where I lived. So, it was only 90 miles. So,
okay.
That was Johnny Unitas, Ray Berry,
So you're on the bandwagon.
Oh, yeah. I was a Colts fanatic,
Okay.
But I tell you what happened. After I heard that, later that day, we slinged up and went out on a sweep. And I'm out there humping the patties, and I was just totally depressed. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a promise, a pledge to myself. When I get home, if I get home, but when I get home, I am never, ever going to miss a pro football game for the rest of my life. Never, no matter what.
Have you lived up to that?
I did live up to that. Matter of fact, shortly after I got home, there was actually a little confrontation that took place because of my promise to myself.
Are you going to enlighten us on that?
Let's talk about it later. Let's get the show started. Right. We'll talk about it later.
All right, well, there you have it.
If I stay in that frame of mind. But let's get the show started.
All right.
Well, my name is Mike Dowling. Welcome to Veterans Nation. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Trevor Scott, Mr. Rick Seaman, and our sound man back there is Mr. Rydell Danzy. All right, here we go.
Right.
From Washington, D.C., the VA has approved $28.4 million in grants to fund 38 projects in 25 states that will provide transitional housing to homeless veterans. Among these 38 projects, 31 will provide temporary housing to homeless veterans with the goal that they will retain the residence of their own. The projects receiving funding have undergone a rigorous review by teams of experts rating each application under objective criteria to ensure that those funded have the ability to provide the services described and a solid plan to get these veterans into housing with a high profitability of obtaining residential stability and independent living. On a single night in 2011, a national count of homeless veterans totaled 67,495, 12% lower than 76,000 in 2010. As part of Obama and VA Secretary Shinseki's 5-year plan to eliminate veteran homelessness by 2015, the VA has committed almost $1 billion to strengthen programs that prevent and treat the many issues that can lead to veteran homelessness.
We're making progress. We're making progress.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go, but we're moving forward,
All right.
Yeah. So here's an email from an Air Force veteran who wants some information on the Air Force's combat-related special compensation program. Mike, I think this is a question for Dave Culmer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see if we can get Dave on the hotline. Dave, are you there? Hello, Dave.
Oh, yeah, Rick, I'm here.
Hey, how's it
Live
going,
and
buddy?
well.
How's it going, man?
It's wonderful, wonderful. How you guys?
Good.
We're good, Dave. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, I got this email. I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
Get your take. Here it goes. He says, I was wounded in Iraq in 2004, and I'm receiving 40% disability compensation from the VA. But after recently reading about the Air Force's CRSC program, which again, that's the Air Force's combat-related special compensation program, he says after reading about that program, he's wondering, can he file with them and get even more money? He finishes by saying, I served in the Air Force for 11 years and was honorably discharged. What do you think, Dave?
Well, he's on the right track, Rick, but he's going to end up with a big goose egg. Number one, the CRSC, the combat-related special compensation, requires that a veteran spend 20 years in the service and be retired.
Okay.
Got to be a 20-year retiree. So that would not apply in his case, and there would be no application for it. It's like putting 5 wheels on a car. There's no place for the 5th wheel.
Right.
Unless he is retired on longevity, 20 years, that would not apply.
So is this Air Force program, and Dave, do the other branches have similar programs?
Absolutely. Every branch has the same program. If a veteran who is retired military and who is service-connected by the Department of Veterans Affairs feels that his disability is in any way related to any combat or combat-related incidents, he then would contact his Department of the Military based on his branch of service. They then would check his records, and they would notify the Department of Veterans Affairs as to the percentage of his compensation is service-related wounds received in the line of combat, in which case he would then receive that amount of money tax-free.
Okay, tax-free. Now, there's a key phrase there, tax-free.
Right.
Because VA compensation, disability compensation is tax-free.
Right, it's all tax-free, right. I didn't need to say that, and it's a confusion factor, and we don't need that.
Right.
But yes, that's correct. I'm glad you brought that point up, Rick.
And yet military retirement pension
Is
taxable, right?
Military retirement, another good point, Rick. Military retired pay is taxable.
Taxable. So what we're saying is, if he can get in and get the CRSC program, then that extra money that he would get, and I'm not sure if I'm right by saying extra money, but it would be non-taxable. But he has to be a 20-year retired vet.
That's correct.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. If a veteran was at Fort Huachuca and a 6-by runs over his foot and crushes his foot bones when he jumped off the truck after playing flag football, this would not warrant combat-related special compensation as it is unrelated to combat.
Right.
He would be eligible for a service-connected disability, regular VA compensation.
Right.
For that degree. Now, another sticky wicket, Rick, is this. We really have a silver bullet here, which is a little bit off, but in 2003, veterans who were militarily retired and who received compensation from the VA their retired pay was offset by the amount of compensation they received. Every year from 2003 up to the present time, there has been a 10% increase in monies received by the veteran to 2014, and there will be no offset. So a guy receiving compensation from the VA and who is retired will get both amounts of money complete and full.
Right. I remember that law. I remember we talked about that on one of our benefit buzz shows with you guys. That's a good point. So, Dave, these Air Force, Army, Navy, Marine, these branches that have this program, they're just kind of like acting like advocates, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they are an advocate. If the records are not caught when the veteran applies for compensation, if it's not determined at that time the disabilities for which he is alleging are service-connected, if it's not determined they're combat-related, then he would go ahead and receive non-combat-related compensation.
Right, right.
And if that is the case, he would contact the headquarters of his branch of service and have them contact the Veterans Administration to let them know his disabilities are combat related.
Right.
Hey, Dave, this is Mike Dowling. I have a question for you.
Sure.
If a veteran contacts their respective branch of service to get that special combat-related pay, will they get back paid from the date that they have been awarded their VA?
No. Only back to the date the application is signed.
Okay.
Gotcha.
A guy's out for 2 years, and his buddy says, listen, the VA will pay you compensation for that. He applies, he receives compensation, takes 8 months to get the compensation. The 8 months, it's a retroactive payment for 8 months, regardless to the monthly dollar amount, but not from the time he was in service, unless he applies within the first year of separation from active duty. If the application is signed within 12 months of his date of separation, the check will be retro to the last date of service.
Aha. So the key there is don't wait.
Yeah.
Don't mess around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Dave, that's great stuff. And you know, it brings up another interesting point that I just want to get out while we're on this topic is explain to everyone what the difference is between military medical retirement pay and VA compensation payments.
Sure. On one hand, they're alike, and on the other hand, they're totally different. A guy, for whatever reason, is disabled during his military service. He's got 9 years in the service. Because of his injuries, he can no longer perform his duties in the military. The military is saying, we are going to medically retire you. You will keep your identification card forever, and you will receive X number of dollars from the military. Okay? That's one. The same guy can apply to the Department of Veterans Affairs for a service-connected disability, for which he is being paid by the military. Now, when the VA's rating comes back, if the rating decision by the Department of Veterans Affairs is more than the amount of money he is receiving from the military, in addition to the benefits he realizes from having a military ID card, PX and commissary privileges and stay-safe flights and on and on and on, he can refuse or waive his military retired pay and begin to receive Veterans Administration compensation. Of course, if the VA's comp comes back lower than his retired pay, case closed, do nothing, and nothing changes.
Right. And that military retirement pay is based on the degree of your injury or wound plus the number of years that you were in the military, right?
That is correct. You're
Right.
absolutely correct, right on the money. Yes.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Make sense?
Yeah, that's all. This is all really good information.
Great. Okay. Well, I think, Dave, you cleared it up. And if this veteran is listening, sounds to me like you got your answer there. I don't even know if he left his name. He did not leave his name. But, sir, if you heard this, good. And if you didn't, you can get it played back on our archives. Go to Veterans Nation Archives. It'll be there. Dave Culmer, as always, you are the book.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. Hey, guys, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
Okay,
If
well,
we can help the troops, it's good.
you
Right
got it,
on.
man. You got it. Hey, we'll be talking to you soon. Have a great weekend.
You guys, too. Take care now. Love you all.
All right,
All
buddy.
right, you too, Dave.
Bye-bye.
Right.
All right. Very, very good.
Good stuff.
So, I guess
The book.
we'll take a break.
All right, we're back, and I think we've got a minute or two left. But Rick, let's hear about that confrontation you were talking about earlier that
Yeah.
led to your pledge about never missing a
Oh,
game.
my pledge-related confrontation.
Yeah.
Well, all right, if I must. You got to go back to Thanksgiving Day, 1970. I wasn't home from the military that long at that point, and I had to spend that Thanksgiving Day at some relatives, and these weren't like core relatives. These were like outside the loop relatives. I didn't really know them that well. So I arrived there on Thanksgiving Day, and I look around and I say, why isn't the TV on? There's a football game. And I'm informed by these, outside the loop relatives, oh, we don't do that. We don't watch TV on Thanksgiving Day, especially not football. And I said, okay, then I guess I have to leave. I'll go home and watch the game, or go to some bar and watch the game. And they're all going, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't leave. And I went, well, I thought about it. I glanced over at my wife of that era, who is not looking very happily at me. And I thought about it, and I remembered my pledge, and I pretty much proceeded to just address the entire living room full of relatives. And with, very stern passion, I said, look here, I humped the jungles, and I humped the rice paddies, and I got shot at, and I slept with rats and mosquitoes and bugs and reptiles and snakes just so you people could have this day. And I made a promise and a pledge to myself that when I came home, I would never miss a football game again, because I didn't have football when I was over there. Well, you could have heard a pin drop. And every jaw in the room is going like this.
Nice. So you got all PTSD.
And all of a sudden, the mom, I don't know if it was the mom or the aunt or whoever it was, she jumps up, she gets in my face, and she goes, you listen to me. She goes, you go turn on that TV right now, because we're going to watch football.
Yeah, for Grandma.
Whoa. And so we watched it, and we had the game on even while we were eating dinner. And, when it was all over, everybody there said, hey, that was fun. That was fun.
Who was playing that day?
I have no idea.
But you saw it, right?
Yeah, but it was a football game, and I'm the same way to this day, man. Don't take me away from my football, because I made a deal.
I can listen to these stories all day. Right?
Yeah.
Guys in their football.
All right.
Don't come between them.
That's right. That's right. Okay, well, hey, guys, been a good show.
Definitely.
As always.
Thanks again to Dave Culmer for
The book.
All right,
As we
the
call
book,
him.
yes. All right, okay. So,
All right, well, thanks again for joining us here on Veterans Nation. Look for us on veteransnetwork.net. We'll see you on our next episode. Take care.
okay. All right.